Hey guys!
Hi! We have an idea for you that we'd like to run by you.
Yes.
One of the questions that we get asked, and by we, I mean Courtney, in our travels, is how do we plan our travels? How do we plan our route? How do we figure out what we're going to do?
Yeah, we get lots of questions about how do we find our awesome campgrounds? How do we find our hikes? We go so many awesome places. How do we figure all that out? And Steve in past videos has said he married a Courtney and that's how that works. But we have an idea.
Yeah, it's not very helpful because everybody can't marry a Courtney. However, we can somehow figure out a way to extract all of that good juiciness out of her head and put it in a easily
Learnable?
digestible, learnable way.
Yes.
So
We're creating a course.
a course
Yeah.
is the way that we think we're going to do that. Now, I went through this lean startup course several years ago to start a small business. And one of the things that we were taught is don't build a company around your requirements. Build it around your customers' requirements. And effectively, you guys, as well as everybody else, would be our customers. So in this video, my wife, Courtney, is going to outline
What we're thinking.
and then we need feedback from you guys to make sure that we're on the right path, if there's anything obvious that we're missing, and what is most important to you in a course about planning your route.
Since all of you have either done this yourselves and had to go through this process or will be doing it and have questions right now, you are the perfect people to ask. So leave comments, email me, Courtney@astreaminlife.com. Any suggestions you have would be greatly appreciated.
And just to get this out of the way, this course will not be free. However, you good people will obviously get a really nice discount.
Yes.
But prices is something that we haven't really thought of yet. That'll come later. But now, I'm going to turn it over to Courtney, and she's going to give you all the nitty-gritty details about what we're thinking.
Working title for the course so far, How to Plan Your Epic RV Adventure. And this is what I'm thinking. Start with an introduction video where we outline the course, talk about the purpose, which would be to teach you how to plan your epic RV adventure and what you'll be able to do when we get there. Next step would be talking about some of the difficulties that come with RV route planning, trip planning, and working out what we would do in this course to make sure that those difficulties are taken care of. Then what you would need for the course or to plan your trip, just resources, which there wouldn't be very many. Most of them are going to be online. Then we start gathering basic information behind your specific trip. Things like where do you want to go, how long do you have for your trip, budget, personal RV information, things like that. Here we would have a worksheet provided so that people could fill that in and have that available. The next step would actually be an in-depth Google Maps tutorial, because that would be one of the main resources that we would be using to plan the trip. And so this would be completely in-depth, very detailed, step-by-step, how to use Google Maps for all sorts of things. Next step would be setting your major waypoints, or what the major destinations of this trip would be. We'd help you find them, research them, and then also secondary waypoints or secondary places that you would like to do along your route. Again, lots of resources on how to find those. This is where things like the hikes we do and the cool foodie places and the photography, all of that. But also other things as well that are not necessarily our hobbies. Then we'd be planning the driving route, or at least a tentative driving route. We'd be using Google Maps along with other resources, checking roads, checking driving times, all of that. And next step would be where to stay. Campgrounds, boondocking, all different ways of finding all the campgrounds we find, making sure they have what you need, they stay within your budget, everything. And the next section would be, don't you love it when a plan comes together? Putting it all together and starting to actually pick campgrounds and places you're going to stay and make sure that they fall into the timing you have and the weather and everything like that. Almost done. Now you're booking. So if you're making reservations, this would be when it would happen, starting with your major waypoints and working your way in a very specific order to make sure you get the things you want first, and then rearranging your trip plans in case things don't work out. Another thing we're doing throughout this trip is making sure you have backup plans and have lots of options and know what you should do if things don't work out the way you originally planned. Next step is congratulations, the trip is planned. I'm going to summarize what you've learned, also talk about other things you could now do to fill in gaps, or at least have ideas of more things to do once you're in those areas, some more of our favorite resources. What to do when things go wrong is next. This will talk about what happens if there's a disaster, if something happens in your family, if the trip is fundamentally changed, all the different things that we have that can help you make the most of your adventure and still have it go amazingly well, even if it wasn't exactly how you planned it. Second to last section would be actual examples. I would walk through at least a few examples of a trip, different lengths of time, different places, different number of people, different kind of camping styles, different hobbies, things like that, so that you can actually see, I'm going to set out my basics, this is what I want, and I'm going to walk through all the steps in order to plan this trip. And lastly, we have a references section with links to everything we talked about, as well as we're thinking of creating a private Facebook group that you would automatically be able to join in order to be able to talk to other people trying to plan their trips and get help if you have any questions. So that's what we're thinking for this course. I know it was a lot. I said all of that kind of quickly, but we didn't want to make this video too long. I will put a list of those major sections in the description below. And if you feel like I missed anything, if you want to make sure that I touch on something in the course, please leave a comment, or like I said, email me at courtney@astreaminlife.com, because we want to make sure that this works for you guys. Thanks so much. We love having you guys follow us along on this journey. We do stuff like this for you, and we hope it helps. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.